mean, we're both competitors, and there's no ill will. And once we both get punched in the face, like, we're gonna be locked in.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of.
Jake Paul is visibly shaken after learning that Floyd Mayweather has officially joined Gervonta Davis's training camp. Though Jake insists he's staying calm and focusing on fitness, his uneasy expressions reveal the truth. The thought of Mayweather guiding Tank, refining his precision, power, and ring IQ, has intensified the threat. Many fans now believe Jake realizes he's up against a true boxer, armed with Mayweather's legendary strategy, and the growing tension is starting to show. Even his closest supporters admit the pressure is beginning to break through his confidence.
But I feel great. So I don't know, after 5 years of doing it, I'm healthier than ever, mentally doing amazing. So I'm just always thinking of the positive. And even in sparring, I've never been knocked down or knocked out or anything. So I've just yet to experience any.
Have you ever been knocked out?
No, never. I was meditating once. That's how my nose is crooked. People think my nose is crooked from boxing, but I was meditating once. It's the only time I've ever passed out and I got knocked out. But I like was sitting on this higher chair thing, meditating, breathing in, and I think I had like low blood sugar or something, or it was early in the morning, earlier than I normally woke up. And I just fell forward straight into the concrete, and it broke my nose, and I was like knocked out for like.
Floyd Mayweather has reportedly teamed up with Gervonta Davis in training camp, providing expert guidance and tactical insight as the fight draws near. His involvement adds world-class experience and unshakable confidence to Tank's preparation. Under Mayweather's mentorship, Davis is zeroing in on perfecting his technique, maintaining strict discipline, and strengthening his mental edge ahead of the most significant showdown of his career. Observers say the chemistry between the two is already turning Davis into an even more dangerous opponent. Chael Sonnen has emerged as one of the loudest voices backing Gervonta Davis in this matchup. He views Davis not just as a champion, but as a symbol of what true boxing stands for. Sonnen pointed out that while Jake Paul has introduced new audiences to the sport, his rise has also sparked questions about authenticity and skill. Now fans are counting on Davis to bring balance back to the ring. According to Sonnen, this is boxing's chance to remind the world what elite fighters are truly capable of when facing someone still developing. To him, this fight represents the sport defending its pride and legacy. While he acknowledges Jake's influence in expanding boxing's reach, Sonnen emphasizes that Tank must deliver a decisive performance to prove the gap between promotion and genuine talent.
My question is, what's the rules? And, like, are they going to actually try and knock each other out? Because it's going to be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's going to have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah.
You know?
Big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's going to eat his
I thought
guts.
Jake was going to fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
No, that
more,
was actually getting.
that sounded
the
more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever
Yeah.
heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we
Yes.
don't punch each other in the jaw?
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they
very
can get away with
interesting to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah,
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
He's so small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather because I've seen Floyd in person and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person?
I worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Tiny.
Well,
Oh,
Floyd
dude.
likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Weight classes
so
exist
small.
for a clear purpose: to maintain safety and fairness by ensuring fighters compete on even physical terms. Gervonta Davis is accustomed to opponents who share his speed, agility, and proportions. Facing Jake Paul, however, means stepping in with a naturally larger athlete who carries extra muscle and knockout power. The gap in their natural walking weights alone sparks serious debate about fairness and practicality. While Tank's precision and power remain undeniable, connecting cleanly against a heavier opponent built to absorb more damage completely shifts the equation. Many observers argue that even Davis's elite skill might not fully offset such a physical gap. Meanwhile, Jake gains a natural edge from his size, even if his technical level doesn't compare to Tank's. That imbalance makes fans wonder whether this matchup is about competition or a spectacle.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in. I want to say it was like 8.
Throughout his career, Gervonta Davis has remained outspoken about his dedication to authentic boxing and preserving the sport's proud legacy. That's why some fans are puzzled by his decision to step into the ring with a social media personality still proving himself as a boxer. Many believe Davis should be using this stage to face top-ranked contenders rather than engaging in what feels like a publicity-driven matchup. Supporters worry that Tank's participation might unintentionally legitimize influencer boxing, blurring the line between fame and true merit. They fear it suggests popularity can stand on equal ground with talent, discipline, and ranking. While the event promises massive attention and financial reward, loyal fans hoped Davis would steer clear of anything that could overshadow his legacy as a true champion.
This fight was ever going to happen. And the fact that y'all believed it, I don't know, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, like, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never going to happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You could still purchase them online, and the fight is still listed.
Boxing has undergone a massive transformation in recent years. Even elite fighters now struggle to capture mainstream attention unless their bouts come with a dramatic backstory or viral hook. Experts say this change stems from how modern audiences consume content, scrolling fast, chasing highlights, and valuing spectacle over skill. As a result, promoters increasingly prioritize marketability instead of athletic merit. Influencer boxing thrives in this environment because it offers instant excitement and headline-worthy storylines. But this shift makes it harder for pure boxers to gain recognition when the spotlight favors hype-driven events. Many traditionalists worry that the sport's foundation, discipline, strategy, and respect, is being overshadowed by entertainment. They fear that boxing's core identity is slowly being replaced by a culture obsessed with views rather than victories.
Problem with boxing, Tank Davis is. Jake Paul's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's a Disney Channel kid, YouTube star turned boxer. Of course, he's gonna make these stupid spectacle matchups. He doesn't care about his career, his legacy, or the sport. Meanwhile, we have Tank Davis, the heir apparent to Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner, who has real talent. And if he was actually consistent in the ring and was willing to get in with some of the best fighters in the world, he could be top 3 pound for pound best fighters in the sport. But instead, Tank just wants to hold up his division for 5 years and make a mockery of the sport, especially with this fight. I know Tank Davis multiple times has said he only cares about the money and just wants to make $100 million and go retire off an island somewhere, but that's bad for the sport, especially coming from one of our sport's biggest superstars. Look at guys like Naoya Inoue, Alexander Usyk, Terrence Crawford. Those guys are real fighters, okay? They challenge themselves against the best fighters in the world. And money comes their way too from it. Don't get it twisted. What's crazy is Tank would make just as much money if he fought Shakur, Devin Haney, even Teofimo Lopez. The biggest tragedy of all is the fact that Lamont Roach isn't getting his rematch. He got robbed in that fight with a knockdown. He definitely would have won the split decision, and he would have got his Buster Douglas moment, but he didn't, and now he can't even get a rematch because Tank is going to do this, and now Lamont Roach has to fight Pitbull Cruz instead. I used to be such a big Tank Davis fan, but over the last year and a half that I've had this channel, the amount of BS that I've had to report on Tank Davis just like this completely turned me off as a fan of Tank Davis. Jake Paul can do his thing with the influencers, with the MMA fighters, but with boxers...
As excitement around the event continued to build, organizers were suddenly hit with an unexpected setback. The original venue backed out, refusing to be linked with what it considered entertainment rather than legitimate sport. Officials claimed the fight didn't align with the professional standards required for officially sanctioned bouts. Scrambling to keep plans intact, promoters immediately began contacting other arenas, searching for a place willing to embrace the hype. Eventually, they secured a new venue that recognized the commercial appeal of such a high-profile spectacle. Though the abrupt switch created stress and uncertainty, it also highlighted the promoter's determination to make the fight happen. In the end, it proved once again that in boxing, business always finds a way when fame and profit are on the line.
To where it's at, I'll expand on that. For one, you have good fights where I'm not talking about these type of fights, crossover type of fight, former Disney guy, influencer stuff, not. And Jake Paul has really promoted himself and acquitted himself to the point where he's kind of a boxer. Now, he hasn't fought the top names, I get it, blah, blah, blah. But he's doing his thing. He's training like a boxer. He's not like taking it lightly, like streaming and then working on his YouTube more than he's working on his boxing. It is what it is, right? But beyond that, let's keep it going. I told you I'm about to really get unpacked. Subscribe to the channel. The reality is, the reason why I'm saying I blame you, the fans, is because we've had some very good fights, like David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, whatever. I'm talking in the last 5-10 years, right? Very good fights, all boxing. So not talking influencer or any type of crossover fight, right? Good fights. And then you got boxing fans in a niche sport who didn't further the exposure by advertising or buying the fight, mostly buying the fight with piracy and whatnot. So now we're at a point in this society where these companies, they're like, all right, they see the piracy is a problem. Now they're looking for sure shot, must win type of scenarios. That's why we're getting these fights that some people, purists and diehards, are calling wonky fights. You know what I mean? It is your fault, because when there was real boxing on,
They understand modern entertainment better than most. Both fighters have built their boxing careers using the same blueprint that fueled their rise on social media: constant visibility and viral appeal. They recognize that attention creates opportunity, and by selecting opponents who generate buzz, they ensure their relevance in an increasingly fast-paced sports world. This strategy secures massive pay-per-view numbers, consistent media coverage, and ongoing fan engagement. While critics may question their legitimacy, few can argue with their business success. For them, it's not about titles or rankings, it's about headlines. And as long as those headlines keep coming, the big fights keep following. At the same time, many experts feel Gervonta Davis doesn't get the recognition he truly deserves. His presence in the ring doesn't just elevate his own profile, it boosts that of his opponents as well. Fighters who face Davis often gain exposure that reshapes their careers, proving that Tank's influence extends far beyond his victories. Analysts argue that fans should value the depth of his impact before rushing to criticize his choices. His career speaks to real skill, real tests, and real achievements, even if those qualities are sometimes overshadowed when his name is compared to Jake Paul's.
Jake Paul is over 50 pounds heavier than Gervonta Tank Davis, and he's nearly a foot taller than Gervonta Tank Davis. So no sanction body wants to, and no commission wants to, should I say, I keep saying sanction body, no commission wants to sanction it. They don't want to be a part of it, as I told you guys. So they announced that the fight was going to take place November 14th in Atlanta at the State Farm Arena where the Atlanta Hawks play. And the Georgia Athletic Commission, he came out and he made a serious statement, and he let the world know that they falsely...
Danny Garcia understands how crucial entertainment has become in modern boxing. He realizes that fans are drawn to unusual matchups because they spark curiosity and build anticipation. While he admits that this particular fight doesn't advance rankings or settle rivalries, he acknowledges the undeniable intrigue surrounding it. Audiences love watching contrasts, different sizes, styles, and backgrounds colliding in the ring. The stranger the pairing, the larger the crowd it attracts. To Garcia, that's the heart of the appeal. The bout may lack championship implications, but it commands worldwide attention. Some may dismiss it as a spectacle, yet it's a spectacle that sells. And in today's boxing world, that matters. However, Garcia also recognizes the concern among traditional fans. The rise of unconventional, celebrity-driven fights has changed the way boxing is perceived. Once celebrated as a showcase of technique, heart, and competitive greatness, the sport now risks being defined by hype and marketing. When elite fighters like Gervonta Davis become linked to cross-division or promotional matchups, purists feel the sport's foundation eroding. They want meaningful title fights, not social media events. They crave legacy, not viral moments. And as the commercial side of boxing continues to grow, so does the fear that future generations may value spectacle over true sporting excellence.
Discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them, because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now, let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who was somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his WBC 140-pound champion.
Chael Sonnen has emerged as one of the loudest voices backing Gervonta Davis in this matchup. He views Davis not just as a champion, but as a symbol of what true boxing stands for. Sonnen pointed out that while Jake Paul has introduced new audiences to the sport, his rise has also sparked questions about authenticity and skill. Now, fans are counting on Davis to bring balance back to the ring. According to Sonnen, this is boxing's chance to remind the world what elite fighters are truly capable of when facing someone still developing. To him, this fight represents the sport defending its pride and legacy. While he acknowledges Jake's influence in expanding boxing's reach, Sonnen emphasizes that Tank must deliver a decisive performance to prove the gap between promotion and genuine talent.
Jake Paul will be taking on Tank Davis in an exhibition on November 15th in Atlanta, Georgia, live on Netflix. And this is crazy for multiple reasons. One, they have a huge size difference. Tank Davis, he's a lightweight, normally fights at 135 pounds. And Jake Paul, he's a cruiserweight, usually fights at 200 pounds. So there's a good 60 to 65 pound difference here. It could also mean that Tank Davis is no longer interested in competing for titles anymore and is cashing out of boxing. You know, there's been a lot of talks that Tank is nearing retirement this year, and he was supposed to rematch Lamont Roach after their first fight went to a draw. But instead of chasing the Roach rematch, instead he takes the Jake Paul fight for money. So maybe this is Tank's last, or one of his last fights. And same for Jake Paul. He just got ranked number 14 at cruiserweight after beating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., so he's supposed to be fighting other ranked contenders or top guys at cruiserweight, but instead, he's taking a money fight. But I do expect these two to go after each other. Even though it is an exhibition, I don't think it'll just be some boring sparring match. I do think they'll try a decent amount. But Tank, obviously, is a lot more skilled. Jake, he has a lot more size.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Stay tuned, and until next time.